January 2025 marked a big milestone for me. It's 3 years living in Sweden. And what does it really mean for me? I really enjoy being here, and this journey was very wonderful, but it had their own issues and troubles. And now I just feel like I've been living here almost forever. So let's talk first about how I moved to Sweden and I found the job. Actually, it wasn't like me finding the job, it was like job finding me. And I had a friend, I still have a friend who's HR, and she was like mentioning to me that, oh, do you want to start looking for a new job? I can help you with it and you can get a relocation and everything. And I was like, yeah, but I just found a new job in Russia, and I was like, I'm not really sure if I want to change job right now because interviewing is a stress. And I was like, can we postpone it? So we decided to give me some time to be more involved in my current job and everything. And then my friend asked me again, and I was like, yeah, we can try. And it was 3 job interviews, and I got invitation here for Sweden. And yeah, that was pretty interesting. It was a long process because the company I was interviewed for, they had some restructuring, and then they stopped hiring people. So that's why it was postponed for some time. Then we continued with the process and everything. And yeah, and then after I got my offer, my boyfriend, he also got offer in the same company. So we were moving together, having a nice job and working in the same project. And yeah, I think it was very good because I know a lot of families where one partner working and the other one is trying to find a job. And if you're not IT developer, then it's kind of difficult because you for sure need some Swedish, and for IT developer it's usually fine to have no Swedish. And yeah, and if I didn't mention it, I'm front-end developer, and when I was starting to find a new job, I had 3 years experience, but it feels like it became 0 when I came here, because it was a new project, new technology for me. And yeah, so I really wanted to move from Russia somewhere, and I had experience with Erasmus program. I was living and studying in Poland for 6 months, and I also had some summer school opportunities, and I studied in Denmark, in Odense, and it was very wonderful, and I really can see myself in Europe. And yeah, Europe is generalization, but I would love to move from Russia because of politics, because of how people value things, their attitude towards LGBT community, for instance, or just people in general. And I was like, nah, I don't really want to be here. So that's why I decided to move somewhere, but I wasn't sure if it's be England or Sweden or Spain or any other country. And I got the job in Sweden, and I was like, yeah, okay, I can check how it is and we can go further if we don't like this country. But I can see that by this time we're here now, it's for my 4th year here, I would say that I really love Sweden. I think it's very good country, and I know a lot of people who live in here for 1 or 2 years, and they already decided that this country is not for them, because there's never a perfect country for you. Every country has their own cons and pros for sure, but I was yeah, what I have here and what it lacks, it's fine by me. I can find it in other country, but Sweden provides me with everything essential I need. And this is I think it's a very good story, because I am happy here, and I know that I would spend other 10 years living here. And yeah, just because the country is so beautiful, and it gives me a lot of freedom, it gives me lifestyle I really want and appreciate. And yeah, for sure it wasn't like everything was perfect from the beginning. When I came here 3 years ago, it was difficult for me and my partner to get social and personal number, because it just took time, and for my other colleagues it took less time than for us. Then the war started and we had no bank cards because we were waiting for personal number and everything. And if you don't have bank IDs, then you cannot log into some websites and everything. So it was kind of difficult, but since we had everything, it was fine. And yeah, without our cards we got the cash, and it's difficult to spend it here because a lot of cafes and restaurants don't accept cash, they accept cards only. And yeah, so it was not very pleasant time, but it was okay. We wasn't very stressed or anything, it was just inconvenience. And yeah, and then we got everything, and nothing really impacts. The bureaucracy here is not that bad how people usually talk about it. For instance, our second work permit we got after 2 weeks or something, and I was really happy about it. And I will be talking more about what happened with me here for these 3 years. And yeah, I'm engaged and I'm going to be married to my partner. So we decided to send the paper and everything and do it via Skatteverket. And the answer was in a month, but a lot of people, like my Swedish colleagues, my friends, and everyone told me that, it will be a long time since you got your approval for marriage, so just don't forget to ping them. And I've been sending the message to Skatteverket. I think it was just before 25th of December, so it was just before the Christmas, and we got answer a month later. So it was kind of fast. We didn't expect it to come that early. And then we had in Försäkringskassan, we also ordered the European cards for insurance. And yeah, again, my friends, they warned me that it took time and everything, but it was just maybe less than a month and we get these cards. So I'm very I cannot complain about the bureaucracy and how everything is postponed. But yeah, I think we are very lucky, because we also get lucky when we find a nice apartment and everything. It was not a month or 2 months of looking for a new apartment, but we can find something interesting just in 2 weeks. And yeah, and I really appreciate how many people I found here, and they're very supportive, they're very helpful, and we became friends. And I think it's very important to understand that it's your own power, your own will to find new community, because when you're an immigrant and you come into a new country, new city where you know literally no one, it's sometimes difficult and you feel lonely. Because I had a lot of friends in Russia, and my friends now, they live in Spain, they live in Georgia, in Armenia. And yeah, I was okay, then I need to find a new community for me here. And yeah, I found them. I'm still happy to get new friends and people in my network. For these 3 years, I finally started YouTube channel, this one and another one in Russian, and I'm really happy with this because I was thinking about YouTube channel for years, and the last time it was in St. Petersburg, and I got offer from the job here, and I was yeah, So Sweden, I can finally start my YouTube channel about life in Sweden because it would be more like natural, and easy for me to talk about it, how like my journey here and everything. And yeah, but then the war started, and then we had mobilization, like drafting to army and everything, so it was a lot of stress and I couldn't manage to post regularly. But then I decided to have an English channel as well, because I wanted to extend my community and I really wanted to know people not only from like Russian speaking countries. And yeah, and I find a lot of joy here as well, like talking in English with you guys. And yeah, it's experience for me. I'm a little bit more nervous than when I speak in my native language and everything, but still I think it's a good practice. And yeah, my lifestyle changed. I think I quit some of my hobbies, because when I was in Russia, I I used to go to like personal dancing classes with my friend, and then I also got personal lessons from a singing teacher. And here I had singing classes for a while. I think it was a year or something, and it was online. But yeah, it's like not very convenient to be online. I want to find something here as well. And also dancing here, dance classes, a little bit more expensive than I expected it to be. And yeah, like just for you to know, the Russian salaries for IT, they're very very high comparing to like normal salaries. And in Sweden, all salaries like quite similar to each other. It's not that big difference usually, like if you're not a manager for sure. But yeah, and like what I could afford in Russia, I cannot afford here. I'm not complaining, it's fine. It's like the part of an expat of immigrant and your lifestyle changing and everything. But I got another hobbies like knitting, like crocheting, and I think it's very nice. And because of knitting and crocheting, I also find a new community. I found very nice and wonderful girls with whom I'm knitting as well. So yeah, I think this is very cool. And if you're talking about the lifestyle, I think my lifestyle became more slow and I enjoy life more than like I ever did, I think, because I have no worries almost about my job, about how I need to be successful, because I think in Sweden it's really like a work-life balance, and I don't feel myself here that anxious than I was in Russia. I was studying in St. Petersburg, but I also, when I was at school, I visited Moscow a lot, and Moscow is very like, everyone is very nervous, stressful, and in rush. That's why I felt the same way, and I found myself here to be more calm. I'm more chill, and I don't worry that much than when I was in Russia. But yeah, I'm really glad, and I also think this is because of environment, like in Sweden itself, because everyone is so chill. Everyone's like, yeah, it's okay, it's fine. And also because I got older, for sure, it's 3 years, and I'm almost 27 now, so it's like different me every year. It's funny, but it feels like a good stuff. I really like be more mature and more calm about myself, and for sure I'm more aware of what I'm doing. And the self-assurance, yeah, that's very good. I really like it because I stopped doubting myself a lot. And yeah, also because I find a lot of people here who are very confident, and it cheers me. The work culture here is quite different from what I had in Russia, and I definitely can see the difference, like how people again more chill here, and they're not that focused on work, and work is not everything in their life. I think this is very wonderful, because in Russia you feel like you constantly working and you need to be like thinking only about your job and everything. And here I feel like people having a life when like the job finished and day is over. They have something to do, they have hobbies, they have some activities, and this is very wonderful. I really appreciate like having it here. And yeah, I think also it's different regarding salaries and salaries expectations. And like when you get salary increase, it's not that big. Than in like Russia we got sometimes plus 15%. It also depends on inflation for sure, but here inflation was quite high recent years, but still like our salary increase was like within 7% or something. And this is among all my friends, all my colleagues, and yeah, so it's like very normal stuff. Then I have a big plan for me living here, because I definitely can see living here another 10-20 years probably, because like a lot of my values, they can be met here, I think. And like this closeness to the nature, a lot of forests, sea and lakes, and how people treat each other. And yeah, I know like in Sweden it's a big talk usually about medicine, and a lot of expats complain about it. And I can definitely see that there's almost no such thing as, for me, as I like for these 3 years I could see no such thing as preventive medicine. Like if something hurts, then people will fix it. But if you don't really know what's going on with you, you don't have like government support for checkups and everything. And yeah, that's a little bit weird, but just knowing it, giving you the opportunity to travel somewhere where they have it, and you pay money, but you probably pay less money, and then you can get this like docs and everything to show to Swedish doctors. So I think it's fine. You just need to be prepared, you just need to know what to expect. And yeah, so I think it's fine. It's not perfect, not like you cannot find a perfect country. It will be everything something that doesn't really fit. And yeah, I'm not sure what you think about it, and what cons and pros you can see here in Sweden or in any other country you live in right now. But my plans for next year and for next years, I think in general, it's to start learning Swedish very efficiently and in depth, because I can support some discussion, but I can definitely understand more than I could speak. And also I'm very happy that I could read more than I could like year ago, but still my language is not at the same level as English. I know it's difficult to compare because I'm speaking English like for 20 years almost, and Swedish is just like 3 years. But I would really love and use Swedish language in my regular life, because I see there, like, if I'm living here, I need to know the language. I would like to speak with Swedish people in Swedish. And yeah, I think there's no like assimilation or integration to the culture and country if you don't really know the language of the country you're living in. And yeah, I think that's it. And if you're interested in working culture, I have a video about it. And thank you. Puss puss.